Another great guy, always been a great friend, was Cowboy Bob Orton. And his son Randy, he's great, so he's third generation. Cowboy Bob was second generation. We became great friends. I helped him, I introduced him into the Mid-Atlantic, got him into the Mid-Atlantic. He started, Flair saw how he worked. Rick wanted to work with Cowboy Bob right away. And then we got him into New York, and the rest is history for Bob Orton. He was another second generation guy that just was great. Because I met Bob, I got him booked in the Mid-Atlantic. As soon as he got in the Mid-Atlantic, Rick, I tell Rick, this guy here. And right away he did an angle with Bob, and they started going all over the place. And then I got him into, I went to Vince Sr. I said, this guy's great. You got to bring him up. So Vince Sr. was getting away from, his houses were bad in 78, 77, because not knocking the guys who were there, but maybe they'd been there too long, but it was too much pulling hair, fingers in the eyes, not solid work, not wrestling. It's like showbiz city. And he wanted people that could wrestle. And I think some of the guys that came in before me, so I came in 79, but he was starting to pull guys out of areas where guys in the South mainly that knew how to wrestle. And this guy Ken Patera, I'm speaking of, he came in before I was. I think it was 78. He started that transition into, more wrestling. So I came up, and then Piper came up, and Sergeant Slaughter came on up. And so it was different. We're making the people believe in the wrestling again. He wasn't selling out the Garden anymore. They brought me in. I didn't have a wrestling hold. All I did was backwards suplex somebody and drop the big elbow. Vince McMahon Sr. come up and he says, have you ever thought of using the figure 4 leg lock? Wow, I don't even know how to put it on, but yeah. So I had some guys show me right back there in the dressing room how to put it on. And Vince knew how to get someone over. He came up to me and he goes, when I get through with you, everybody's going to know who you are, Greg Valentine. I wasn't the Hammer yet. So I went out and started. We did 3 tapes in Allentown, and next night this is in Pennsylvania. Then we went over to Hamburg and did 3 more tapes. And every guy that I wrestled, I put the figure 4 on him, and they would carry him out on a stretcher. They had ambulances coming in. They had everything. And this went on for 3 months. I'm flying in out of Charlotte or Florida. I think it was Charlotte, yeah. Every 3 weeks I'm up there. So by the time I went to the Garden, I'd been on television like 16 times, and they see this figure 4 thing. So now I'm wrestling Bob Backlund, and it's a snowstorm, and I'm driving from Charlotte with my wife up there, and we can't even get to New York. It's a blizzard. But it finally stopped where I could take the side roads and get to Manhattan, get to my hotel. So I panicked. I called Vince Sr., and he wasn't even there. He was at home. He goes, Greg, don't worry about it. It's already sold out. So that was a good feeling. So I went out there, and they told me what they wanted to do. It's never been done in Madison Square Garden before. We want you to go to Time Limit with Bob Backlund. I shook Bob Backlund's hand and talked to him at the tapings, but never wrestled Bob, nothing. And I heard he was extremely hard to work with. But, I went out there, did the hour-long Broadway match, 1979 or 80, whatever it was. First time I ever wrestled Bob. We did the hour-long, and it turned out being fantastic. fantastic. And shout out to Bob Backlund, because that was a great match. Hour long, never been done before. And it was just as good as winning a world belt, actually. Came back, and I think we did another one. First of all, we went all the way around. We only did that hour-long match one time, but we went pretty much 45, 50 minutes on all of them, and we came back, and I eventually, he got over on the second time around. But then I did a thing with Chief Jay Strongbow, and it was his idea. He went to Vince, and then he came up to me and he goes, I'm going to have you break my leg on TV, and I'm going to have him carry me out on a stretcher. Now, I didn't know back at the time, but probably the biggest guy that had the most fans and everybody loved him was Chief Jay Strongbow. There was Bob Backlund, the world champion. They had some other guys there, Pedro Morales, whoever, but they loved Chief Jay Strongbow. So when I broke his leg and did that in Hamburg, one of the TV tapings, and Gorilla Monsoon came out with a stretcher, and they had the doctor, and they had the ambulance back right in and carried him out. And I tell you what, I got so much heat, couldn't even hardly get to my car. People believed everything back then. And then 2 months he's gone, and all of a sudden he shows up at the TV tapings, and he's out there watching me wrestle, and they build it up great. And no matter, I wrestled him 2-3 times around the Horn, everywhere, sold out. Small towns, big towns, you name it. We had a great run. And Chief was a great guy, beautiful guy. He always called me, later on he became an agent. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like him as an agent, but I did. And he always called me Beautiful Greg, because I always would be back there going like that. He says, Greg, you're beautiful. I love Chief Jay Strong. We made so much money together. I had money pouring out of my pockets. Back then, we got paid cash every night. We didn't have to wait for a corporate check. Money in the hand every night. I loved that. Cash every night. Wow, that's fantastic. Who doesn't love cash, right? Yeah. I'm in Las Vegas, the home of cash. We like cash here. Yeah.